What's going on, everyone? So, reports came out that Nick Claxton as well as Daniel Gafford are the two most likely centers for the Lakers to trade this upcoming offseason. Obviously, makes sense. Rob Pelinka has good relationships with Nico Harris as well as Sean Marks. Lakers pulled off trades with both of those teams. And both of those teams kind of want to do some retooling and make some more moves and make some more noise, so maybe the Lakers could pull something off. I do think Nick Claxton is more likely than Daniel Gafford, just because we know the Brooklyn Nets, if they don't land Giannis, probably hitting the reset button, and Nick Claxton still has 3 years on his deal. They incredibly value expiring contracts. It's how we were able to get Dorian Finney-Smith. So I could see the Lakers landing Nick Claxton more likely than not. But did videos breaking down Nick Claxton, talked about Nick Claxton. In this video, I want to discuss and break down Daniel Gafford. Me personally, I would prefer Daniel Gafford, right? I just think he gives you... Nick Claxton is better. He's more versatile defensively. He's better at defending in space. He's better defending out on the perimeter, right? Daniel Gafford is better as far as like just being the big physical presence, right? So that is beneficial. Both guys are 26 years old, so they're both the same age, which is not old by any stretch, right? Both still very young, could be, foundation pieces for the next, 6 to 8 years for the Lakers. Saw it alongside Luka. I don't think you can go wrong either way. I just would prefer Daniel Gafford because of, again, the size. Nick Claxton is 220 pounds, soaking wet, where you look at a guy such as Daniel Gafford, he's 265. So he has the size and the strength to bang with the big boys, especially in the Western Conference. When you look at like Jokic and Edey and Şengün and Ivica Zubac and all these guys, right? Like every team seems to have a big physical center, right? Even Dallas has several of them. So to me, I just think Daniel Gafford would make more sense. He has familiarity and a relationship and rapport with Luka. So I think that really very, very greatly benefits the Lakers. But what does Daniel Gafford bring to this team? Again, toughness. He's a guy, don't question his toughness. The landlord keeps things in line, right? He's a guy that can block shots, protect at the rim, rebound the basketball, do a little bit of everything. He's not some like hyper elite rebounder. That's something to kind of keep in mind. But he is good enough for what we need at that position, as well as, again, protecting the rim. He can defend in space, but Nick Claxton, part of it is Nick Claxton's 220 pounds, so he's able to try to like move and shuffle, so that helps. But kind of going over what a Daniel Gafford can bring and provide. 57 games played last season, started in 31 of them, averaging 21.5 minutes per game. He is, for his career, a 20-minute-a-game guy. He's pretty much everywhere he's been. Has kind of fluctuated from starter to bench role and stuff like that. Always kind of played limited minutes. The most minutes he's ever played in a season was with Washington right before the trade, in which he played in 26.5 minutes per game. So he's a guy that's very comfortable in that like 20 to 25 minute a game role, which is probably what you're looking for the Lakers. Right? Because Lakers, let's say they get Daniel Gafford, probably playing 25 minutes a game, probably going to play the backup, whoever that is, a couple minutes per game. And then Lakers will probably still run small ball instance and in spots. So again, Daniel Gafford being comfortable playing, 20 to 25 minutes, I do think is very beneficial. But 25 minutes a game, he gives you 70% from the floor. He does not space the floor at all. Right? He's not a guy that spaces the floor by any stretch of the imagination. He is a guy that does give you 70% from the floor. A lot of that is lob threats and what Luka can do for him as far as just getting him the ball. Again, and having that understanding and pairing. 70.2% on 7.1 attempts from the floor. 70.2% EFG. Free throw shooting is a problem. He's not like Gobert bad, like some of these other guys bad, but he's not great. He is a career 67% free throw shooter. Last year, he was 69%, which was good, on 3.4 attempts, which was the most of his career. So hopefully, if he can be, in the 70 range, right? He's not bad, but he's not great, right? Like he's a guy that you can trust at the line, but not a guy like you can see teams maybe doing the Hacka Gafford thing, right? But 6.8 rebounds, including 2.7 offensive rebounds. Now, this is a guy that's a career 5.6 rebound a game guy, but again, in that season where he played the most minutes for Washington, he was actually 8 rebounds a game. So if he could be somewhere in that regards, and 3 offensive rebounds per game. So good offensive rebounder. Again, just a good hustle, energy, effort guy, which is what you want. But last season, 6.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists, half a steal, and just under 2 blocks per game, 1.8. He is a career 1.5 blocks per game guy. That season that I talked about averaged 2.1 blocks per game. Now, if you go look at his per 36 doesn't tell you everything, but it kind of gives you an idea. Like if he was our full-time starter playing 30 plus minutes a night, what could he provide? What could he bring? And he would be a 20.6 point per game guy. He would be 11.4 rebounds, including 4.6 offensive rebounds per game, 2.3 assists, a steal, and then 3 blocks per game, which sounds like elite. And you might go, Tyler, you said he's not an elite rebounder earlier. Well, those numbers show that he is elite. Yeah, but again, you see guys, again, he played 27 minutes and gave you 8 rebounds a game. All right. He's a guy that is a double-double in 30 minutes per game, guy that give you the double-double. But he's not a guy that's like, he's getting you, you see guys that like it, no matter what, whether they play 8 minutes or they play 80 minutes, right? They're getting you 15 plus rebound, right? Like it's not like that. Like he's a guy that I think would be in a starting role playing 20, 25 minutes a game, probably like a 12-6 guy, probably where I'm at, probably where I think he'll be in that range. 26 is basically what he was with Dallas, right? In limited role, in limited minutes, which is fine. It's great. It's what you want. 20 minutes a game, give me 6 rebounds, give me 2 blocks, give me a steal, give me, 12 points per game. He is a good rebounder. Good rebounder. He is a excellent rim protector, right? Excellent effort and hustle guy. And you're talking about a guy that'd be 3 or 4 blocks per game per 36. Like, that's very impressive. But Daniel Gafford, I would, again, prefer. He would be, obviously I'd love, Mark Williams healthy. I'd love, a Walker Kessler. Like, there's guys that I'd like even over Daniel Gafford. But if you're telling me that the choices are Nick Claxton or Daniel Gafford, I would prefer Daniel Gafford. Right? I do think that there are pros and cons to both, but give me the guy that's bigger, more physical, that works with Luka, that we can have matchup against Jokic, Ivica Zubac, Zach Edey, and the other guys, right? Give me a guy that can bang with the big fellas. Right? That's what I prefer. That's what I'd like. Now, as far as Daniel Gafford and health-wise, right? Because, again, you look, he played 57 games this year. He played in 74 games the year before, right? He can kind of be up and down, right? So he played in 57 games this year. He played in 74 games, 78 games, 72 games. If he can be in that range, then beautiful, right? That's exactly what the Lakers need. Give me, 70 games, a year, and we're in business, right? Obviously, there's going to be a year here and there. It happens to everybody, right? Year in there where you miss 20 games or whatever, right? So I don't want to judge the 57 games too much, but you look at like earlier in his career, 43 games, 54, 31, 23. Now, some of those games he didn't play, right? Like some of those games where he played very limited minutes, right? Like, so, some of it is circumstances. To me, as long as he can give you around 70 games a season, then I am all for it, right? That's what we need, health, right? The best ability is availability. You don't want to go get a Daniel Gafford and then, you end up having, him hurt for most of the time. And it's like, knock on wood. And then, now we're playing Jackson Hayes again. And it's like, well, that sucks, right? You want a guy that because you want a guy that can give you the availability. You want a guy that can give you the minutes and the run and the opportunity, right? But, looking at Nick Claxton, right? He's a guy that gives you 76 games, 71 games, 70 games, right? His first 3 years, 15 games played, 32 games played, and 47 games played, right? But again, the last 3 years. So both guys, the last 3 years give you the health. All three guys give you kind of similar things as far as the rebounding and whatnot, right? But, I just look at what this Lakers team needs and what the Lakers could really use, and Daniel Gafford just checks off all the lists. I do think it's reasonable. I do think it's a possibility because, again, Nico Harris works for the Lakers, so that really helps. I'm joking, but having that relationship, having that rapport to where they were willing to trade you Luka is massive. Now they have Anthony Davis and Derek Lively, and they were running Anthony Davis at the 5 a lot. So there might be a point where they might have to make a decision on, one of those guys, or especially if they're going to run Anthony Davis at the 5 on occasion. They might have to go, hey, we still want to play you the 5. We still want to stretch the floor with Washington at the 4, right? And go AD and Washington and, Marshall and whatever else, right? Kyrie and Clay, right? Like there's probably going to be times where they're going to want to do that. So Derek Lively's so young, he's probably the guy you want to keep where you go Lively and Davis, right? And then Daniel Gafford probably ends up becoming the odd man out. I could see Daniel Gafford kind of being the guy that ends up, that they end up trading if they were to do that. And there was talks about them looking to trade him at the trade deadline, right? After they got Anthony Davis and everything. So I think there's a potential that he'll be available. The Lakers and Dallas have a good relationship as far as trade partners go. Daniel Gafford is exactly what this Lakers team needs. Daniel Gafford and Luka Doncic have a great relationship, and we know Daniel Gafford and Luka Doncic work well together, right? So, boom, sign me up, right? Like, that's exactly what this team needs. But, and all in all, if the Lakers can land Daniel Gafford, I think that'd be huge. If the Lakers can find a way to piece it together, and now, fast forward, and Daniel Gafford is in a Laker jersey, which should have probably been in a Laker jersey previously. That's a guy that we probably should have had and made that trade for instead of Dallas making that trade, because it was like we needed a center, but they were so fixated on Anthony Davis being the center and Anthony Davis playing the center that we missed out on several guys, right? Even Nick Richards, right, would have made some sense. But no, I look at a guy like a Daniel Gafford. You can get him, slot him in, bring him in, beautiful. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you love Daniel Gafford? Do you prefer Daniel Gafford over Nick Claxton? Do you think that, no, right? Do you prefer Nick Claxton? Do you prefer another center? Is there somebody else out there that you would rather have? Do you like the idea of hey, Daniel Gafford, he's the guy, go get him, make the trade, make it make sense? Is there any concerns that you have maybe for Daniel Gafford? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.